What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's going on? What's going on? Hope everyone's having an absolutely fantastic day. Ryan Loede here, coming to you live from Sunny Isles Beach, Miami, Florida. Want to talk a little bit about money. Money. Financial freedom. Creating the success you desire. Right? But hey, before I go any further, if you don't know me, I take full responsibility. My name's Ryan Loede, building a 9-figure insurance agency and helping everyday Americans create a multiple 6-figure residual income within their first year here at LC Financial Group. We're hiring, we're growing, we're expanding in all 50 states. So if you want to learn more about what partnering with us here at LC Financial Group would look like, DM me, comment below, reach out to any of our partners, or hey, send an email to careers@teamlcfg.com. That's careers@teamlcfg.com. LC Financial Group, let's go. Hey, so financial freedom. We have to clearly define this for ourselves. We have to clearly define what financial freedom means to us. Because everyone has their own definition of financial freedom. Everyone has their own definition and ideal viewpoint of what success looks like and what success really consists of, right? So you have to ask yourself, what is financial freedom to me? For me personally, hey, financial freedom is having enough passive income that exceeds my earned income to cover my monthly expenses, as well as being able to continue to invest in investment vehicles or assets. And also on top of that, being able to give back to charities, foundations, back to my city, an organization, back to my family, back to my church, right? So financial freedom is different for me and it's different for you. The way you view financial freedom is different than the way that I view financial freedom. And the most important thing is clearly defining what financial freedom means to you. You got to think deeper. You got to go levels deeper into what financial freedom is to you, what success means to you. What is enough money to be financially free? That's what we're going to be talking about today. How much is enough money to be financially free? Because if you were like me growing up, I grew up in the middle class. I grew up, thankfully with a mother and a father. I grew up in a household where we were clipping coupons. My mother was clipping coupons. I grew up in a household where we had to, turn off the lights before we left the house. Make sure the lights are off if we're not using the area. Make sure that we eat the food. I grew up in a household where we're saving food and saving little bits and pieces of food, right? I grew up in a household where I was taught the beliefs and the ideologies of the middle class, where, hey, I'm sure some of you guys watching this, we're in the same exact position, growing up in a middle class house, growing up in a middle class environment, in a middle class surrounding. And what happens is that, hey, we're taught these ideas and beliefs of the middle class, how they operate, how they take action, how they think, right? And the middle class belief system is not going to allow you to get to that true financial freedom point. It's not going to allow you to get to that top 1%. Right? I'm sure you guys heard of that 1%, the 1%, right? What does the 1% even consist of, right? From what I know, and I'm going to look it up here in a second, the 1% is $250,000 plus coming in every single year. Now, what percent of Americans actually have that? What I know is that 76% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. Here at LC Financial Group, we are determined and dedicated to helping individuals get away from living paycheck to paycheck. We are determined to helping individuals create passive income that exceeds their earned income. We are determined to helping individuals create abundance in all areas of life: financial, spiritual, physical, mental, emotional, familial, all areas, not just one area, not just finances, all areas. So you have to clearly define what financial freedom is to you. What does it look like? What do you have when you reach that financial freedom point? Are you still going to work when you have reached that goal or target that is financial freedom to you? For me, hey, I'm always going to be working. It might not be me working, but it's going to be my money working for me. My money continually creating money. I invest in the assets and vehicles that will continually help me create more money. That's the viewpoint and focus that we should have, and what I would recommend for you guys is that, hey, our money is working for our money. We're not trading money for time, but we're able to trade, we're not trading time for money, but we're able to trade money for time. We get to a point where our money is making more money because of our money than because of our time. Because right now, if you're like me and you're in my shoes, I'm trading time for money, right? But hey, we want to focus on how we can trade money for time so we can do the things that we want. We can have the experiences that we desire. We can spend more time with our loved ones. We can do exactly what we want, right? And also, we want to have passive income that exceeds our earned income. We want passive income that exceeds our earned income. And not only so it exceeds our earned income, but also so, hey, it pays for our expenses. And also, hey, so it also, allows us to continue to invest into an investment vehicle or an asset. And even beyond that, we're able to give back. We're able to support, right? So let me bring this to you here quickly. What is financial freedom? What it means on Google, financial freedom, financial independence is the status of having enough income or wealth sufficient to pay for one's living expenses for the rest of one's life without having to be employed or dependent on others. Income earned without having to work a job is commonly referred to as passive income. So what does financial freedom mean? Financial freedom means you get to make life decisions without being overly stressed about the financial fallout of those decisions. So now we jump into the realm of what is that number that we need to get to be financially free? What is that number, right? For me growing up, man, I thought $100,000 was a lot. $100,000 a year was a lot, which, hey, it still is a lot. It is better than most are creating as far as revenue goes on a yearly basis. However, we need to change our thinking, because in order to change our life and in order to change, what's really happening in our life, we need to change our money mindset. We need to change the way we think about money and the way we view money, because the way we think about money and the way we view money is the way in which money will come into our life. We need to open up the floodgates. We need to break the barriers down and those limitations and the ultimate, that borderline of not spending money. Because hey, if you're holding on so tightly to the money you have, you are limiting the amount of money that can come back into you. So financial freedom, what is that number to you? Leave it in the comments below. I want to know what you guys think, because hey, financial freedom is the battle cry, that double S, right? So is it 1 million or is it 10 million? That's the question here. That's the question. Is it $1 million or is it $10 million? Because we all hear about, $1 million and we'll be financially free, $1 million and we won't have to work anymore, $1 million and we'll have enough to live, we'll have enough to survive. But the reason why people think $1 million is enough to be financially free, or even $10 million is enough to be financially free, is because they have the wrong definition of survive. Survive means abundance. Survive means flourishment in all areas of life. Survive is not just getting by. Survive is not just, just getting by with the money that we have, and still having to be tight and conservative about our money. But hey, even if you're at that $1 million mark or that $10 million mark, you could still have the beliefs and the decision making and the ideologies of the middle class. You can still act very frugal with your money. Now, don't get me wrong, you want to be frugal with your money until you get to that point where you have all this passive income coming in. But man, I've seen, and heard about people making $10 million. They have $10 million stored away and they're still they still hold on to their money so tightly, instead of, hey, investing it, instead of, hey, putting it to an asset, putting it into a vehicle, right? So is it $1 million or is it $10 million? That's the big question. For me personally, is well beyond these both numbers. But hey, I don't want to jump the gradient scale with you guys, because when you start to think too big, you might not be able to grasp it. You might not be able to really understand it fully and become aware of it, right? So let's start with either 1 million or 10 million. The thing that you're going to have to do in order to really realize how how much you need or what that goal or target is to be financially free, right? Like they said on Google, financial freedom is the ability to have income that pays for your expenses without having to work anymore or be dependent on others, right? But what is your definition of financial freedom? So $1 million or $10 million? $1 million, hey, that's got to be out of the picture. That has to be out of the picture because, hey, let's break it down here. Let's say rent. Depending on where you live, yeah. If you live in Ohio, like, hey, I got a place in Ohio, it's only like $1,800 a month. Whereas my place here in Miami, it's north of $5,000. It's $7,000 a month. So rent, what is the average rent? It depends on where you live. Let's just say the average rent is $3,000 a month, which equals 36 a year. So 36 a year. Let's what else we got? We got utilities. Utilities, depending on if your electric is included, depending on if your water's included, gas, all that stuff. Hey, I only pay electric at my place here, but let's say you pay everything. Let's just say $200 a month, which equals $2,400 a year. Okay, what else we got? Here, what we're doing here, I'm giving you guys an exercise so you can really conceptualize and become aware of, like, man, is it $1 million or $10 million to be financially free? Because, hey, if you haven't done this, you need to do it, and you need to become aware of it. Because your thinking and your thought process and the way in which you think about financial freedom might be skewed. And we need to remove the bad data and the bad information so we can add the good data and the right information. I heard Magic Johnson say this. It's like, hey, I grew up poor, but that doesn't mean I have poor dreams, right? And then also, as I said earlier, just because you might have grew up in the middle class with the beliefs and the thoughts and the ideas and the thinking and the process of the middle class doesn't mean you have to act upon those beliefs and ideas of the middle class. You can change the way you act. And that was one of the first steps for me as I started to create success in my life, is changing the way I think, the way I take actions, the way, I make decisions, the way in which I move. Am I moving with speed or am I just casually moving along, right? So rent, utilities, we got insurance. I don't know, life insurance, health insurance, car insurance, renters or homeowners insurance. We got all types of insurance. Let's just say at an average, you got one car. If you've got a great record, not like myself, but let's just say $2,000 a month. Boom, that's 24K a year. Okay, what else we got? We got food. We got food or groceries. We want to have the ability to eat out. We want to have the ability to have a nice meal, go to a nice restaurant, right? We do that once a week, or maybe, hey, if you're like me, I eat out every single day, and I'm vegan, so that makes it even more expensive. But let's say food or groceries, let's just say a cool $1,000 a month, 12K a year. Right? So we got rent, we got utilities, we got insurance, we got food and groceries. How about the car payments? Car payments. You got one car, you got two cars. Hey, let's say you have two cars, like myself. Two cars, let's say $2,000. And that's pretty low. That's pretty low. If I were you, as I'm doing these numbers, as I'm breaking this down, I would almost even double all these numbers. Because most of us are underestimating what it takes to get by. We're underestimating the, action and activity it's going to take to create financial freedom. So the last thing that we want to do is underestimate our expenses. But you can dive into this to exact detail. And this is what I recommend and suggest, is to dive into it with exact detail of, like, what are my monthly expenses? What are my monthly bills? What are my yearly expenses? What are my yearly bills, right? Dive into it deep. Like, for me, hey, I'm keeping account of all my monthly expenses, all my monthly tax write-offs, because I'm a 1099, self-employed individual. And it's very important. It's very important to be aware. You got to have that awareness. You got to be organized. You got to have that perception of reality, right? So car payments, that's another 24K a year. What else we got? Hey, maybe we want some clothes. We want to buy some clothes, which, hey, personally, I haven't bought clothes in the last 2 years. Just have the same clothes, keep them nice. Yeah, you can buy nice clothes though. Everyone wants to buy nice clothes. Like, hey, I just bought a few pairs of jeans the other day. It was $700. Like, so you want to buy nice clothes throughout the year. Let's say 200, 300, let's say $500 a month. Could be more, could be less, depending on your taste. You know, I know myself, I like nice clothes. I like to feel nice. I like to raise my self-esteem. I like to feel better, because the better I feel, the more I do, and the more I do, the more I can do, and the more I'll get accomplished, right? So $500 a month, that's $6,000 a year. What else we got? We got rent, utilities, we got insurance, we got food and groceries, we got car payments, we got clothes. Now what else we got? Let's think. How about juice? Y'all like pressed juice? I love pressed juice. You know, that kind of ties into groceries there, food and groceries. Let's say gas. Gas for your car. You know, you got to get to A to B. You got gas. You got to fill up the tank. You got to continually fuel the tank, right? So gas, what is that going to be? That's going to be, depending on how much you drive, let's say $200, let's say $300 a month. Here in Miami, it could be even more depending on how much you drive. So right now we got rent, $3K, utilities, $200, insurance, $2,000, food and groceries, $1,000, car payments, $2,000, clothes, $500, gas, $200. Hey, this is just for yourself. How about growing a family and having a wife, having kids, 2 kids, 4 kids? Man, families even have 6 kids, right? So what I've heard is that to get a child from the age of 1 to 18, schooling, clothing, feeding, putting a roof over their head, $1 million. $1 million just for that one kid. So we got to get our thinking right about money, right? So let's just go on the basis of just rent, utilities, insurance, food, groceries. Hey, what about tithing? You know, you want to give back? You want to give back? Or tithing / charity? You want to do that every month? Wow. You want to have abundance in all areas of life. Let's say you do $1,000 a month, which is like, hey, $12K a year. For me, my goal and target, I write this down every single day, is to be able to support $10 million to my church, my charity, a community organization, a foundation, give back to my family. Got to have those big purposes and big reasons to continue to move forward. So we got tithing and charity, $1,000 a month. That's another $12K, right? So I think that's a good start here. So basically we have 36,000 plus 24,000. That's 60 grand, 72 grand. We got 96. We got 106. We got 107. We got 10,600, and then we got 110,600, 113. That's $113,000 a year. 113K a year on expenses. Now, y'all can let me know in the comments if your expenses are even lower than that. My expenses are even higher than that. So, you know, as you continue to grow and expand, you know, this might get larger. But let's say average is $113,000 a year. Sounds about right to me. $113,000 a year. So what do you need to do now? You got to think of like, okay, I need $113,000 a year on my expenses. So how much you need to make? Well, hey, let's say, hey, you got to make, because 40% is going to taxes right away. Uncle Sam needs his money. They're going to rip that from you before you even see it, depending on what job you're working. For me, 1099, self-employed, I get a lot of tax write-offs, so my liability is a little bit lower. And you got to learn about the taxes, right? How to write off taxes, how to rip off the IRS. I'm a big advocate of ripping off the IRS. You should be too. So 113,000, let's say 300,000 And this is what we're helping individuals do here at LC Financial Group. We're helping them $300,000+ a year, bare minimum, and that's just earned income. We also help individuals create a multiple six-figure residual income, right? So $300,000 a year times 40%, that's going to taxes. 40% going to taxes, that's what? That's $120K towards taxes. Now what are you left with to live on? You're left with $180,000. $180,000 to live on. So you get $300,000 a year, income, revenue, boom. 40% taxes right away out of your check. 40%, and then hey, you want to, live off of 20% of that. So 20% of 180 is 36,000. So now we see like we got 36,000 a store every 36,000 that we have to live off of, on top of now we got 113,000 expenses. So $300,000 that we're making every single year, 40% goes to taxes, you got $180,000 left. $180,000 minus that 113, let's just round it to 120 for easy math, that's $60,000. $60,000 that you have left to maybe store, or maybe $60,000 that you have left to have good experiences. But let's get back to the topic of discussion here, which is $1 million or $10 million. What's the number to become financially free? So 113, we'll just say 120K a year. 120K a year is your expenses. Now, how much money do you need so you can cover your expenses, right? Let's go over this again. The basic definition of financial freedom on Google is financial independence is the status of having enough income or wealth sufficient to pay one's living expenses for the rest of one's life without having to be employed or dependent on others. So how much money do you need to be able to pay your expenses for the rest of your life without having to work or be dependent on others? Well, hey, if your expenses are $120,000, let's say for example, you're 25 years old, just like myself. We'll round it up to 30. 30 years, you're gonna live till, let's say 90 years. You're gonna live till 90 years old. 90 years old, so that means you got 60 years. 90 years old, make sure you're taking care of your body, health is wealth, right? So you got 60 years of expenses that you are going to have to take care of. 120, here's the real number. 120 times 60, 7.2 million. $7.2 million in order to be financially free. That's if you're just covering your expenses. That does not include being able to give back to a charity, a community, an organization, being able to give back to your family, being able to raise kids, 2-4 kids, being able to have a wife and a family, right? Being able to cover, emergencies that might come up, being able to travel and to experience the world, right? So we gotta think bigger, folks. We gotta think bigger. 7.2 million just to cover our living expenses. So is $10 million even enough? In my opinion, absolutely not. Hey, I need $100 million every single month coming in of passive income so I can give back $10 million every month to my church, my charity, a foundation, an organization, my family. We want that ability to give back. We want that ability to support. So I hope this helps you out. You can say, is it 1 million or 10 million? $1 million, and I don't know about you, but $1 million, I don't even know how you can make sense of that. $100 million, like how does anyone even make sense of saying they're financially free with just $1 million? It's not even possible unless unless you don't want to travel, you don't want to have great experiences, you don't want to have a family and kids and provide for them a great life, unless you don't want to have generational wealth and leave behind wealth to your kids and your kids' kids and your kids' kids' kids, right? Like $1 million, like what is that going to do for you? Like, it's not going to go too far. I mean, that $1 million, let's just break it down here. Let's just break it down here really quick. $1 million. $1 million. I mean, shoot, $1 million a month in passive income. Now we're talking about, say we got $120K a year expenses, and we have $1 million and we think we're financially free. How long is that going to last? That's going to last 10 years. If you're lucky. You got 10 years with with $1 million, and you have 120K per year in expenses. That's going to last you 10 years. What are you going to do after that? And that's where we get to the point of what I was speaking about earlier. We want passive income that exceeds our earned income. And we want passive income that pays for our expenses as well as allows us to give back, to support, to have the experiences that we want in life, to be able to travel in life, right? So 100K in expenses, 1 million a year, that leaves you with 10 years. So that's where we get to the point of like, man, is $10 million even enough? Like we were talking about earlier, $10 million, that allows you to live for 60 years with just paying your expenses. Now, if you really want true financial freedom, I'm not going to jump the gradient scale with you guys, but let's say $25 million. Now, is that a good number? I'd say that's a good start. That's a very, very, very good start. Very good start. And you got $120,000 per year in expenses. What does that leave you with? That gives you, what, almost double that amount. So what is that, about like 20 years? Let's just say 20 years, give or take. So now you got 20 years. You got 20 years right there. 20 years. $25 million. $25 million. I'm sorry. My math is a little off. That's 200 years. That's 200 years. 25 million, 120 a year in expenses. That's 20 years. Now we're talking. Now we have the ability to not have to work. Now we have the ability to continue to invest in assets and vehicles. Now we have the ability to give back, to support, right? So, little brain fog right there. Math. 25 million, 120,000 a year, that's 200 years. 200 years, about 200 years, give or take. So now we're really talking. Now we are really talking. So this should be the number. This should be the number. But hey, if you can't reach this 25 million, if you're like, man, Ryan, that is just like, that's crazy. I don't need $25 million to be financially free. I can't even think about 25 million. I'm not even making $100,000 a year, let alone $25 million. Like, I can't even fathom that. And that's how it was for me 5-6 years ago. I'm like, man, these people throwing out these big numbers. I got my mentor, GC, Grant Cardone, saying like $100 million. I'm like, dude, what? I'm not even making $30,000 a year. I'm not even making $20,000 a year. Come on, Grant. Come on, Uncle G. Like, I can't even think about that. So this is why I wanted to say $1 million or $10 million, because that $25 million, it might be a lot for individuals to grasp, right? Especially if you're just getting started in your entrepreneurial career. Maybe you're just getting started in a new career, a new industry, and you're just starting to think, change your mindset and change your viewpoint and your thinking. Hey, $10 million at the very least is going to be what it's going to take to become financially free. So let me know what you guys think. I want to see what your guys' opinion is on how much it's going to be financially free. What do you think a lot of money is? You got to ask yourself great questions. You got to be curious. What do you think a lot of money is? What do you think it's going to become, you're going to need to be financially free? How much passive income are you going to need to be financially free, right? How much income and revenue and money are you going to need to be able to give back and support at such a high level that you want to and that you should want to, right? you got to be asking yourself these great questions. So guys, let me know in the comments below, 1 million, 10 million, or hey, for you big thinkers like myself, 25 million, or hey, for you extraordinary, making an impact on the universe type of individuals, $100 million, $1 billion. Let me know. I want to see in the comments below what you think that number is. What is that number to become financially free? Hey, and if you're growing a team, you're growing an organization, you need to get your team having the right mindset and the right money mindset. You know, because I heard my Uncle G say, Grant Cardone say, he said, hey, if he would have went back, he would have taught money first and then sales. Because, hey, money's a big block. Money is going to be the ultimate, one of the biggest motivators. It's one of my motivators. You know, we got to have multiple motivators and multiple purposes and reasons. But money is one of the biggest ones for everyone, right? We don't want to have money concerns. We don't want to be concerned and stressed about what we can spend money on, how much money we can spend, and so on and so forth. So let me know in the comments below. Hope this found you well. Is it 1 million, 10 million, 25 million, 100 million, $1 billion? What is it for you? What's that number? Give me a shout in the comments, and you guys have a great rest of your day. Ryan Loede here. Financial freedom, that's the battle cry. That's what we should be striving for. And also, we should be looking to help other people create financial freedom, just like we're doing here at LC Financial Group, Life-Changing Financial Group. We're helping individuals achieve financial freedom. Our vision is to help 1 million individuals create financial freedom here at LC Financial Group. If you want to learn more, hey, DM me, comment below, reach out to any of our partners, or hey, email careers@teamlcfg.com. That's careers@teamlcf.com, lcfg.com if you want to learn more. Let's go. Who's got my money?